Everyone thinks that Solana is done right now. Most altcoins are down, and so there's a lot of correlation in crypto, right? When Bitcoin goes up and Bitcoin goes down, most altcoins tend to follow. Now, Solana might decouple. There's some very interesting data that I want to share in this video. Now, this here, that's the Solana dominance. It shows how much of all of crypto is currently in Solana in terms of market cap. Now, this is not the cleanest of representations of this data because we can adjust this by excluding the stablecoins. The chart doesn't look fundamentally different to the dominance chart, but still using SOL/total ES, with ES meaning excluding stablecoins, gives us a more accurate representation of what's going on. Now, in the last 4 to 5 years, Solana tended to outperform most other cryptocurrencies, but in the last 2 years or so, we are in a declining trend. And the question is, are we going to break out of that trend? Will we at least in the short term outperform by another 40%? Here, by the way, is Solana relative to Ethereum. And in the last months, they tended to trade very much in sync. So if Solana breaks out, Ethereum is likely going to break out as well. Now, I've run several back tests, so several simulations of buying and selling Solana to try to figure out where the momentum is currently headed. This is coming from Bitcoin Strategy Analytics. So that's the backtesting platform that's included in the premium membership here. And what we see here at the bottom, that's the moving average duration when we trade Solana using moving averages. And here on the y-axis, we've got the annualized performance. This chart, it shows how the 63-day simple moving average is the best to trade Solana. This is then how this looks like over time. So we buy Solana whenever we are above the moving average. We sell Solana whenever we are below. So sometimes the portfolio line that's shown here at the bottom is just going sideways. That's when we are in cash. And sometimes it goes up. That's when we are invested. Here's how that looks like on a live chart, and have a look at what's happening right now. The Solana price is incredibly close to crossing that moving average. The 62-day simple moving average is at $92.53. Now, this backtest just looks at the price at the end of the day. So that's midnight UTC time zone. We are not trading within the day. We just look at the price once a day, and then we decide, are we buying or are we selling? And again, this approach tended to work quite well. But I have run more back tests. I wanted to get an even better strategy. When we look at other cryptocurrencies, very often it's not the price cross versus the moving average that performs the best. It's rather moving average crosses against one another that works the best. So we look at golden crosses and at death crosses. This is how that looks like on a chart. We've got a fast moving average and a slower moving average. The faster moving average is here in white. Whenever the faster moving average is below the slower moving average, that's when we get a death cross. That's when we bet on falling prices. Whenever the faster moving average goes above the slower moving average, that's when we got a golden cross. That's when we bet on rising prices. Let's take away the price data. That's how that looks like over time. And we can run the numbers again to find the best combination of two moving averages. Because this is why I think this channel is different to other crypto channels. Other crypto channels might talk about the 100-day simple moving average, or might talk about the golden cross of two random moving averages, but they haven't really backtested. They haven't really made simulations to try to figure out, is that approach really the best approach? I like to trade and invest based on data. And here is the best combination for trading Solana. It's this green dot. It's a combination of the 14-day and the 31-day simple moving average. And that's the result over time. Instead of getting a bit over 100% return per annum, that's what buying and holding Solana would have given us, the return moves to almost 400% per annum. The maximum drawdown for Solana at one point was minus 96%. That's been reduced to minus 80%, and the Sharpe ratio moves from a bit over 1 to almost 2. And so that's then how the performance looks over time. We don't just bet on rising prices, we also bet on falling prices when the faster moving average is below the slower moving average. A very nice constant increase if we just use fixed betting. So we don't use any compounding in this backtest. When we've got a bullish signal, we bet $10,000. When we've got a bearish signal, we bet $10,000. We don't do any compounding in this particular backtest. Compare this again to the prior backtest. Do you prefer this performance or do you prefer this performance? I think this here looks much nicer. Once we add compounding to the mix, have a look at how the portfolio value develops over time measured in Solana. So we're very close to an all-time high with that strategy. And so the graph looks nice, the numbers look nice, and this is the situation right now. We have already crossed the slower moving average and we are bullish since the 8th of March. Solana since then has already appreciated by 14%. And so while the simple price cross strategy looks bullish, the even better strategy of using two moving averages has been bullish for quite a while already. And so that's why I think there is a good chance that Solana dominance will go up from here. The momentum is already turning around. The general market might not look that bullish, but Solana itself seems to gain some ground. In the end, it's just a simulation of buying and selling, and nobody has a crystal ball. But I do like to trade based on trading rules that tended to work in the past. We don't look at the noise of the day, we remove all emotion, we just look at cold facts and cold data. And that data is currently bullish. We should be betting on rising prices. And so feel free to steal that strategy yourself. Again, it's the 31-day simple moving average and the 14-day simple moving average. You can simply plot those in TradingView. You can just add those indicators to your TradingView chart and follow the signals. If that's too much work for you, you can also co-invest in a capital pool to get into that strategy. So there's not only a Bitcoin trend follower and an Ethereum trend follower. This week, we will also launch the Solana trend follower. The other two trend followers are doing very well. And so over time, we will see whether or not the simulated returns will turn into real returns for Solana as well. I think this here is the most likely scenario. I am bullish on Solana. If you got some value out of this video, feel free to give it a like. It will help the channel grow. Feel free to also subscribe. I publish videos regularly. See you next time on YouTube or see you on Premium. Cheers.